As a native Coloradan, born in Denver in the year 1979, as I deliver this video in June 2021, I will become 42 years old in October, and I've lived every single year of my life in this state, except for a minor excursion when I was 2 years old to Tacoma, Washington for a year. And I've lived all around the state. And I will say this: never have I wanted to leave Denver more than right now. And I never even had the idea of leaving until right now, but it's becoming unbearable. All you have to do is travel this horrible country of ours to see how many truly horrible places are out there. And it makes you thankful for having grown up in Colorado and spent so much time in Denver. But it's on a downward spiral, and it just gets worse every single day. I'll give you an example: the Rhino District, a new district that was developed in an industrial area north of downtown Denver. Well, all they did is slop together some high-rise apartments, jumble them together, no parks, no trees, no green space, just densely populated high-rise apartment buildings. The bottom line, trying to make a dollar. You know, the city has been in the pockets of the developers, and even though Denver has had an aesthetic quality very high, as I've done some traveling in the U.S. now, this once beautiful city, and still beautiful in many ways, is deteriorating quickly. And having recently driven for Lyft and touring the city, seeing every corner of the city, I can tell you that it's really bad. The west side, anything west of Cherry Creek, is overpopulated. Too much traffic, too densely populated, too many new people coming in, too much arrogance. And that's not to say that we're not a welcoming people, that I wouldn't welcome with open arms a gentleman like Weird City Citizen to come live here with me. But the arrogance of the newcomers is something that's really, struck me. An unwillingness to converse. We're an open people, we're a friendly people, but that's not what I'm seeing from a lot of the newcomers from the Midwest and the East Coast, and also so unfair is that people are able to sell out from the East Coast and the Midwest, and able to buy beautiful homes in Colorado when someone like me lived here my entire life, unable to buy a home. That's incredibly unfair, and my story is not unique. And given the fact that they've done such a horrible job with developing downtown, the arrogance of the newcomers, and the horrible job they've really done with everything west of Cherry Creek, I'm so thankful to live on the east side here. Well, guess what? That's not good enough for them. They are looking to destroy the east side as well. A project is going to be going in about a mile from me. And so this haven of relative calm is about to end very quickly because of greed, because of just a lack of empathy for people living in certain neighborhoods like this one. Glendale gives green light to 10-acre entertainment district after years of delay. A rendering of the Glendale Entertainment District, a 10-acre redevelopment project on the bank of Cherry Creek in Glendale. The city approved the project this week, and it's expected to break ground in the fall. After more than 20 years of planning, a revolving door of developers, lawsuits, and protests, Glendale is set to break ground this fall on a $150 million entertainment project on the banks of Cherry Creek. The Glendale City Council on Wednesday approved the 10-acre project, formerly dubbed Glendale 180, and now called the Glendale Entertainment District, at the corner of South Colorado Boulevard and East Virginia Avenue, through a redevelopment agreement with Denver-based Central Street Capital. The project will feature an array of restaurants and entertainment options, including a 40,000 square foot concert venue, a movie theater, and an app based sportsbook gaming hall, pubs, rooftop bars, nightclubs, and a 200-room resort hotel. The Glendale Entertainment District will be a common consumption area where patrons can walk around with adult drinks, and alcohol will be served until 4 a.m. We are thankful to the city of Glendale for allowing us the privilege of developing one of the most unique entertainment districts in Colorado. Central Street Capitol President Rob Salazar said in a news release. Wednesday's vote caps a years-long struggle to get the project off the ground. A Denver Post story from 2015 reported that initial plans for a redevelopment project next to Cherry Creek began as far back as 1998. The city was sued in 2015 by a Persian rug shop that resisted efforts by the city to potentially claim its business through eminent domain. That fight brought a crowd out to protest in support of the owners of the rug shop. That same year, Glendale canceled an election that would have authorized a downtown development authority it created to float $200 million in bonds to help finance the dining and entertainment complex. A handful of developers that have been involved in the project over the last decade, but until now, none were able to see the project making it to the starting line. The Glendale Entertainment District is expected to open in late 2023. So I know that the mayor of Glendale was a huge proponent of this. He may have had the original idea. This is a guy that's been in power for quite some time. I don't live in Glendale. I live in Denver, but I've lived kind of in a couple of different spots right within a block of Glendale for many years now. And Glendale is just this guy's very ambitious. He created this rugby stadium and this park area. Yes, I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he did the park around the sports field and the rugby stadium. That's all great, but the guy never knows when to stop. He's been wanting to do this project for a long time, and it's infringing on one of the few green spaces in Glendale. It's very densely populated apartments, and this is his dream to do, because you just can't leave a relatively quiet neighborhood alone, because Denver, which this part of Denver bordering Glendale is very quiet. There's not very quiet, but relatively quiet. Lots of parks, lots of green space. Well, he wants to move into that green space in Glendale, what little there is in Glendale, and put in these bars, these restaurants. They're going into an ecosystem where animals live down there, raccoons, coyotes. They're going to develop the creek area where there are very few places for these animals to find refuge from humans. Well, he wants to go in there, develop it, and have drunks driving up and down the street all night. And it's already fairly crazy. I say it's relatively quiet. I couldn't imagine living west of here. But there's activity all night. People constantly stopping in front of the apartment complex. We're going to be within a mile of this project, and it almost seems like there's not enough space for it. It's from reading this, and I keep looking at this. I've been looking at this project for years, and I'm just like, where is it all going to go? Well, it's definitely going to go into the Cherry Creek. Cherry Creek's not just an area; it's literally a creek that runs through the city. It's not a river. It's huge by any standards. This is a place for animals to find refuge, a nice place for people walking along a bike path, riding their bike along a bike path. It's an area of a city that is inside a city, but it feels like you're in nature. Well, they're at least partially going to get rid of that because of this stupid project. Okay, so here he is, Mike Donovan, the mayor, ninth mayor of Glendale in its 60-year history. Whatever. The thing I found interesting was, okay, a Colorado native, Mayor Donovan has been a major player in initiating and shepherding the extraordinary 14-year transformation of the small city of Glendale into an entertainment capital, an internationally known city. Well, what about the people that live in Glendale? Well, they don't matter because those are apartment dwellers for the most part, right? It's a capitalist like this. That it's just a thing. It's to get him recognition and to exploit the area for cash. Yeah, what a dumbass. And where does this guy live? Okay, where does this idiot live? So I've found his YouTube page. Mike Donovan. Okay, so look at him.
It's a ritual in my family.
This
Really?
guy, yeah, that doesn't look like Glendale. They did a study recently, and Glendale has actually 2.5 trees. That guy has trees coming out of his ears. So that looks like conifer area, evergreen area. So he, of course, exploits Glendale as a developer. He's really just a developer. Very easy to see that. And of course, lives several miles out of the city in a mountain home.